Okay, good afternoon. Yeah, others are joining. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, others are joining, Rashmi.
Don't know, sir.
Don't know. Okay, should we wait for another 2-3 minutes? Because only you two have joined so far. You guys, there is only a small part which is remaining of this particular module theory of this particular module. So I'll be completing only that part and will end the class. Just want to make sure if others are joining or it's only two of you.
Sir, put up a message on group, sir. Let's see.
Okay, okay, ठीक है. Thank you. Okay, guys, there are only 9 participants right now. Should I start? Because there's a very small part which is remaining, so I'll just complete that. Okay, I don't know whether by the time others join, I'll be able to complete it also. Guys, what should we do? Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just confirm if you can see the screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in the previous class, we had started with this hire purchase system. Okay, in hire purchase, if you remember, okay, sorry. In hire purchase, we have done, we started with what is hire purchase. We understood the features of hire purchase. Okay, like it is a written document and it is an intention to create legal relationship. The party should be competent, then should not be against any public policy, then proper consideration, regular consideration should be paid in the form of rentals, and any of the parties has the right to, any one of the parties have the right to terminate the contract in case of breach of trust. Then the parties involved is hire purchaser and hire vendor. Purchaser is a person who uses the asset, vendor is a person who sells the asset, or he gives the asset on hire purchase basis to the purchaser. Types of hire purchases: consumer installment credit. This is basically about your consumer goods which you purchase on installment basis, that is hire purchase on consumer installment credit. And industrial and commercial credit basically is all about industrial equipments where you get yourself involved into uh, loans and leasing, etc. All these agreements that come under hire purchase in terms of industrial and commercial credit. Okay, then we went on to understand what is purchase agreement, what are the various clauses and what are the various contents of a hire purchase agreement, starting from your nature of agreement, like what are the terms and condition on which the agreement has been agreed upon or signed upon. Then delivery of equipments. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, so then is delivery of equipment, where it has to be delivered, the place, the place, time, etc. should be mentioned over here. Then the inspection of the goods, sorry, not the goods, but the assets or the equipments that are being given on hire purchase. So the hirer has to inspect it properly before going ahead with the use. Then repairs, all the repairs have to be taken care by the hirer. Alterations also are not allowed. Basically, alterations cannot be done to the equipment or the asset without prior approval or permission of the hire vendor. Okay, I'm sorry. So there is no question of alterations here, but in case the hire vendor approves or he allows for alteration, then you can go ahead and do it. Otherwise, alterations are not allowed. Termination, we have already spoken, any of the parties to the contract can terminate the contract in case of breach of trust or the terms and condition. Risk lies with the hirer. Okay, then registration and fees all have to be paid by the hirer itself. Indemnity clause is the clause in case of loss. In case of loss, what should be done, who is responsible to pay. So an indemnity clause is signed. Okay, then stamp duty is again paid by the hirer, and the schedule for repayments, that is schedule for the installment payment of the installment, has to be mentioned. So these all details should be included in a hire purchase agreement. Okay, are you all clear with all these uh, conditions or all these points which should be included in a hire purchase agreement? Any doubts in any of these points? Yesterday I remember Narayan had asked this doubt about indemnity clause, so I hope you're clear with what is this indemnity clause. It is basically a clause to protect you from losses. So who is going to take that responsibility of loss? Okay, that is what indemnity clause is all about. So are you clear with that? Is everybody clear? If it is clear, then give a thumbs up quickly, guys, so that we can go ahead. Okay, great. Then the next one is your steps in hire purchase transaction. There are various steps involved in hire purchase transaction. First one is goods are let out. Okay, yes, the goods are given to the hirer for use. So that is goods are let out. Next is obligation to pay periodic installments. Okay, so a proper schedule is made, and the hirer has to make is under the obligation to pay the regular installments to the hire vendor. Okay, on agreed terms and conditions, that is the date or the day on which the installments are due, etc., the month in which the installment is due, etc. Okay, then after the payment of all the installments, okay, including your down payment that you make earlier, and then you make all the higher installments. Once all the higher installments are over, there is a possibility of transfer of ownership from the higher vendor to the higher purchaser. Okay, then down payment is the initial payment that you have to do. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, down payment is the initial payment that you need to do to the higher vendor. Sorry, to the higher vendor. Okay, it ranges to around 20 to 25% of the total cost of the asset is what you need to pay in advance. Okay, and then you get the asset, and then you use it on regular payment of your installments. Okay, there is an alternative which is available for down payment. Like, instead of giving the down payment, what you can do is you can keep this amount of down payment as a deposit with the finance company. Okay, the finance company which is giving you that asset on hire purchase. Okay, you can keep that as a deposit with the finance company, and once you repay all the installments. Okay, once you repay all the installments, then you get back your deposit along with the interest. So that is how another way of making a down payment is, that provides basically a security to the financer also in terms of payments, because if in case there is a default, they can use this deposit amount to nullify their losses. Okay, so that is how this particular alternative is used. In case of hire purchaser also, it is beneficial because he's going to get interest on whatever he has deposited earlier. Okay, so it's beneficial in both the terms, to the higher vendor also and to the higher purchaser also. Okay, next comes your advantages of higher purchase. So higher realized income. Yes, higher purchase helps you in getting higher incomes, because um, you charge them interest on the installments that your that the higher purchaser is paying. Okay, you charge them interest, so you get higher income instead of just selling it outright. Okay, low npas. Definitely the npas are low, because these assets are the ownership of the asset lies with the purchaser, with the vendor itself, unless all the installments are paid. So in case there is a default, you can take back the asset. Okay, so that is why the npas are low. Normally the npas are very low in case of higher purchase agreements. Okay, then few defaulters, because the since you know that if you default, you're going to lose on that particular asset that you had purchased. Okay, so we find a very low defaulter rate in case of hire purchase agreements. I don't say there are no defaulters, there are defaulters, but uh, the number, if you see the percentage of defaults in case of hire purchase agreement in comparatively with other loans, other types of financing, then it's very low. So few defaulters and recycle recovered funds. Okay, so basically whatever funds are recovered, okay, they can be recycled. That is, they can be used for some other purpose. That is what is recycling of funds is. So whatever funds you get in the form of installments, you can use it somewhere else. Okay, to maybe to buy another asset, or to uh, meet your expenses. It may be for n number of purposes, but that can be recycled, reused. Okay, that those funds that you're collecting can be reused. That is another advantage of hire purchase system. Okay, then there are, yes, there are disadvantages. First of all, encourages lavish expenditure. I have not used the word over there, but yes, it encourages lavish expenditure, though you don't need particular thing, because just because you're getting it on installment basis, and the amount is very low, compared to buying it outright. The amounts are very low, you end up spending money on things which you don't require. So it encourages lavish spending. So you see people having uh, mobiles of the highest of the price, maybe let's say Apple 11 or Apple 12, whatever it is, though they don't require such kinds of mobiles, but they still buy it because then installment system is available. That is affordable to them. Instead of paying 1.5 lakhs at once, they can do it on installment basis, buying expensive cars, buying expensive bikes. Okay, all these are some of the disadvantages of higher purchase system. That is, you end up lavish spending lavishly. Okay, next one is future income is mortgaged. Yes, definitely your future income is already mortgaged, because you have to pay the installments in future, so you know your liabilities are there, and already your future income is stuck. Okay, it's been locked over there. Whatever income you're going to generate in future, you have to pay that installment, so it is already locked. So your future income is already mortgaged. Higher installment price, sometimes you end up paying more. Okay, comparatively too much than it was to buy on an outright basis. So higher installment price, sometimes you pay very high on your installments. Okay, if you find if you take, let's say, take an example of buying some let's say a television on Flipkart, and you have made a payment using your credit card. Okay, when you make a payment using your credit card and you choose for EMIs, okay, they charge you 14%. Okay, which is very huge. Like, so you end up paying more than let's say uh, 1.5 times the price that you have that actually the asset was. Okay, you end up paying so much. So that is higher installment price. And difficult to resell the goods, difficulty in reselling the goods, because till the installments are over, till you are the actual owner of the asset, you cannot sell it. Okay, so reselling becomes a problem. Okay, I'm not saying it is not possible, it is possible, but it is difficult, because you don't own that asset. You have paid just one or two installment. Now you don't want that particular asset, you want to resell it and get back your money. You cannot do that, because the ownership is not with you, the ownership is with the finance company. Okay, they have the right to take back your asset and they will sell it. Okay, so there is a lot of difficulty in reselling the goods that you have acquired on hire purchase system. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of hire purchase system. Okay, with this we come to the end of this particular module, that is leasing and hire purchase. Not end of the module, but end of the theoretical part of this particular module. Okay, so that is what I wanted to deal today. That's why that's what I started with. Like, this class would be a very short class, where I'll be just dealing with the remaining part of theoretical part of this particular module. Now there is a lot of time remaining, so I'm free to answer all your queries relating to hire purchase and installment system. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask those doubts. Okay, if you're clear, please give a thumbs up. Okay, if you are not clear, if you want to ask any doubts, please feel free to open up and ask, unmute yourself and ask those doubts. If you're clear, at least give a thumbs up, so that I understand that you're following whatever I'm saying and you're not sleeping. Okay. Thank you, guys. So there is a small work that I want you all to do. Okay. Uh, Basically, I had given you difference between financial lease and operating lease. Okay. So what I want you all to do is, okay, I want you to write some distinctions. Right. First one is, what is distinguish between operating lease and financial lease. I want you to write it again. Okay, at least 5 to 6 points. what is the difference between financial lease and operating lease. Okay, guys, can you just come in the video mode so that I can have a proper connection? Can you come in the video mode for next 2-3 minutes, just to I'll give you these instructions, and then you can I'll just stop the meeting itself. Quickly come in the video mode, guys. Now don't waste time. Okay, so the first question that you're going to answer is distinguish between operating lease and financial lease. Please make a note of this. Distinguish between operating lease and financial lease. Okay. Second is distinguish between hire purchase system and leasing. Distinguish between hire purchase and leasing. Distinguish between hire purchase and leasing. Okay. And third one is you have to distinguish between hire purchase, leasing, and outright purchase. Hire purchase, leasing, and outright purchase. Okay, so there are 3 questions that you need to answer. First one is distinguish between operating lease and financial lease. Second one is leasing and hire purchase. Third one is leasing, hire purchase, and outright purchase. Is it clear to everyone? Yes, no? If yes, give a thumbs up.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys, fair enough. So I'm done with my part. If you have any questions, any queries relating to this theoretical part of hire purchase and installment, feel free to ask.
So these 3 questions are assignment.
Take it as an assignment only.
Okay.
Okay. These are basically to help you in your exams also, because most of the time these types of questions come in the examination. So I want you all to be prepared with such types of questions. Okay. So maybe you take it as a homework or you write it in the assignment book, doesn't matter. My intention is
Okay, sir.
to prepare you for the exams. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Any question? Pradeep, anything from your end?
No, sir.
No. Shaila, are you clear? Vishakha?
Yes, sir.
Sanjay? Okay. So I guess you're clear with this particular module of installment and hire purchase. Make sure that you write this assignment. And one more thing, I had asked you all to submit your practical component for banking and financial services. Okay. And 18th was the last date, I remember. Right? Okay. I hope you have submitted.
17th.
I hope you have submitted, because the mail that we received, the dates are there. I have not checked the mail yet. I'll be checking it now. Okay. But I hope you have submitted the practical component for banking and financial services on or before 18th itself. Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll stop the meeting here. I'll stop the class. Okay, in the next class, next week, we'll start with the next module. Okay, as decided, we'll be completing the 5th and 6th module and then coming back to this particular module for problems. And as suggested by y'all, it would be through a video itself. I'll share a video and then we can have a discussion about that particular video and other problems in the class. Fair enough?
Okay, sir.
So do we have MB Patil sir's class now?
Sorry, Munali?
So do we have MB Patil sir's class now?
He's not there at all. Okay, so he may not, nobody would be engaging his class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
MB Patil sir is not there. Then you have.
So our internals, internal exam.
We are discussing about it. Okay, maybe
Yes, sir.
under 1 or 2 days we'll announce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so should I end the meeting? Everybody's done with their doubts. We are still left with a lot of time, so feel free to ask if you have any doubts. Or if you are in a hurry to have your food, please go ahead and I'll end the meeting. Any doubts, guys? No? Okay, so thank you. Have a good day. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.